San Francisco is home to the first legally recognized transgender district in the world, and it's one of the few trans sanctuary cities in the country. Joining me now is Honey Mahogany, the director of San Francisco's Office of Transgender Initiatives. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Are you finding that trans men and women are actually coming to San Francisco to live because there are resources and a community here that other big cities just don't have?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here in San Francisco. I've been here for a very long time, and San Francisco has always been a very queer and trans-friendly city, and certainly lots of people have always come here. But I would say in the last 5 years or so, I've really seen an uptick in the number of trans people. You know, I currently live in the South of Market neighborhood, and I was walking with a trans friend of mine, actually the former director of the Office of Trans Initiatives. And I said, you know, I'm really noticing a lot of trans people that are moving into the neighborhood. And he said, really? And we looked around, and literally on that one block, we saw 5 other trans people, not including ourselves. And that's huge when you think about it, because trans people are just, 2 to 3% of the population. And to have that many people in one place was really remarkable.
Yeah, it's remarkable, especially given that right now trans rights are under attack in many areas, from medical care to sports to bathroom use. In fact, 39% of transgender youth live in states that have actually passed bans on gender-affirming care. So what kind of harms can trans people suffer from laws like that? And what can we do about it on a local level, even in an area like the Bay Area that's very welcoming to the trans community?
You know, over the last few years, really seeing that uptick in the number of anti-trans bills that were being introduced, literally hundreds of bills every single year. It's been really horrific to see, because what it is it's an attack on who we are as people. The right wing in this country wants to erase trans people from history, but from existence. I believe during the Trump administration, there was talk of removing the word transgender from official federal documents. A lot of ways in which they really want to erase us. And it's sad, because I think we have come so far when we talk about LGBTQ liberation. We have gained the right to marriage. We've gained the right to access of healthcare. Just recently, being trans was removed from the DSM, as a mental disorder. So we've made all this progress, and it seems like they want to take us back. And I have news for them: we are not going back.
You also helped found Drag Story Hour. I'm curious, how is that going? Have you been met with any kind of protest?
Yes, I was one of the first drag queens to do Drag Story Hour, and started right here in San Francisco with Radar Productions. It really actually started because queer people who are parents themselves, queer and trans people, wanted a fun activity to take their kids to. And, it was so touching to be able to interact so joyfully with kids and children of my friends. But more recently, there has been this element of fear and danger. And now, a lot of the libraries actually have security guards or have, SFPD on call, ensuring that there isn't a threat to the library and to the children who are attending these events. And, it's not the drag queens that are terrorizing these children. It's these right-wing people, the Proud Boys, et cetera, who, have stormed libraries and yelled horrible things at children. All we're doing as drag queens, is dressing up, reading a book, getting kids to dance and sing. Being a drag queen in some ways is not that different from being a Muppet. You're there to entertain. Drag is like any other art form. You can really shape it towards your audience. You could do something in the nightlife that's more for people over 21. You can also do something for kids that's kid-friendly and really is fun and celebratory.
It's meant to spread joy. That's how I see it. Now, we mentioned at the top of this interview that you are the director of Transgender Initiatives. What are your top priorities right now? What do you hope to accomplish?
Sure. Well, the Office of Trans Initiatives is really meant to be a bridge between the transgender, gender nonconforming, intersex, and two-spirit community here in San Francisco and local government. So we do a lot of bridge building. We do a lot of advocacy. Some of the initiatives that we've worked on is, for example, ensuring that we have access to gender-neutral bathrooms in all city-run and operated buildings. And like I oftentimes like to say, this doesn't only help trans people. It also helps other people who maybe need a single stall bathroom, families, for example. So We do a lot of work that builds equity, not just for the trans community, but for many communities. We recently did a trans basic universal income pilot. So that pilot did come to an end, but we saw some really tremendous outcomes for those trans people who were able to participate. And currently, we also have an initiative under Mayor London Breed to end trans homelessness. And so we're really coordinating pretty extensively with the Department of Homelessness here, the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, and the Mayor's Office directly to ensure that we are making progress in providing more housing for trans people. That means access to shelter spaces, navigation centers, supportive housing, and more.
Honey Mahogany, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. You can always get all the latest headlines and weather over on Pix Plus. And remember to like and click the button on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe for the biggest Bay Area news.